Hello and welcome to the Change Gang podcast with me, your host, Laura Ordile. I'm here to help you hold on to your sanity and your soul as you move through big change. I'm here to guide you from frustration to flow in your life, bridging the practical and the woo, just for you. Let's go. Welcome to the week, Change Gang. I have the amazing Helen Wyer with me today, and I'm super excited to have a conversation. And this kind of a little bit of a specialized conversation because I wanted to really dig in, and Helen's really good at this particular thing that we're going to talk about. And so thank you for being here today, Helen.
You're more than welcome, and thank you for inviting me.
Today, I really wanted to talk about IBS and anxiety and using hypnosis in the process of clearing that. And I know we've talked, and it's so funny because you went into this adventure having been a teacher and leaving that and then going into this and diving in. You kind of dove into the whole pool and was like, okay, I'm just going to swim and see what happens. And through that process, your quote unquote niche, as they say, niche, whatever you want to say, found you. And so that really is around IBS and anxiety. And for anybody that doesn't know what IBS is, lucky you. But for those of you that do, it's Irritable Bowel Syndrome. And it's horribly uncomfortable, very inconvenient, and very limiting in life. And it can be experienced differently by different people. So it's not just, oh, here's what happens. It can kind of show up in different ways. And through the course of what you were doing, you found that the work that you were doing was clearing that. Did you find that people were coming to you directly to clear that? Or did it kind of come up through helping them with other things?
A bit of both, if I'm honest. So somebody, I think I said to you that when we just had a chat before we were being recorded, and I said, the funny thing was somebody said to me, well, terrible anxiety and all the rest of it, and also have IBS, would you be able to help with that? So in the UK, the National Health Service, I'd read on their website once that things like mindfulness or whatever were very, very good with IBS. So I thought, well, if mindfulness is, hypnotherapy is going to be. Of course it is, because it's a similar, I've got a phrase I call it same stew, different gravy, similar types of world there. So this person said, can you help? And I found myself going, yeah, of course I can do that. Let's have a good crack at this. Can't obviously guarantee, but let's have a good crack at this, see what we can achieve. And then putting the phone down and thinking, okay, then I better suddenly try and work out what we can achieve. In the interim, I'd worked with somebody else who then, after we'd been working together, said to me, do you know what? The strange thing is, not only have I lost the anxiety, but my irritable bowel syndrome's cleared up. And I sat there thinking, you'd never even told me you had irritable bowel syndrome. So that's where the link started to be made. And that gave me the confidence to think, yeah, this person that I've just put the phone down to, of course I can help, because I've helped without even realizing. And did quite a lot of reading about it. Talked to a good friend of mine who used to be a GP, a general practitioner doctor in the UK. And he explained quite a lot to me. And he said to me once, he said, the thing is, not everybody who has anxiety, exhibits anxiety, has IBS, but you can be guaranteed that everybody with IBS has some kind of anxiety. Now, it might be a general anxiety that they've had for a long, long time, or it might be very specific, as in, where are the bathrooms? Will I be able to make it to the toilet in time? And that just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And so that's where it all really kind of started, that I could work out that it's very, very related. So clear the anxiety, clear some of the associations. Often it started at a time of trauma. I remember somebody saying, I think she said she was in her 40s when she developed IBS. And one question I always ask everybody, I go, just tell me what was going on around that time then. And she said, I remember it's clear as day. She said, my mother was in a hospital, end of life care, and the phone rang. The nurse was saying, your mother is, you've got about an hour to get here now. And she said, from that moment, my guts just went into spasm and I had to go straight into the toilet. And it started from that moment onwards, because it was a type of trauma. She'd just been told something awful. And then that just continued. So you're working with all many different things together. And you said there, people's worlds have shrunk. And I hear that so many times. My world has shrunk. I just hardly go out of my house anymore, and they stop living life. And one of the stories I love is, so very, very early doors, my favorite card was from a dog. and it was a muddy footprint in this card from this dog. And he said, I've always only ever walked around the block, as he called it, with my owner. He was too scared to go off to long walks everywhere, and because there might not be a bathroom nearby. Now he's worked with you, I go to the fields. Look, here's my muddy paw. It was just so lovely to get to that. I've kept hold of it even now, 5 or 6 years later, thinking I've had a thank you card from a dog.
I would be like, oh, I need more of that. I need more of those. That would spur me on like nothing else. That's perfect. And that just shows you the difference you make in other lives around the people that you're helping, because it is their family. It is the dog. It is the kids that are experiencing, unfortunately, those things.
Absolutely. A lot of people, again, we know it is one thing, but it's also lots of other things coexisting alongside that. And people will often say, I feel so guilty. I haven't been able to go with my girlfriend, boyfriend, family, wife, kids on holiday because I'm just too scared that if I eat something, if we're on a flight, if we're trapped on a train or something like that. And as I say, the world just gets smaller and smaller and smaller. And then there's the guilt alongside of that they're having an impact on friends, family. They're not able to go to family gatherings sometimes if it's, say, in a different city. There's all sorts of things going on. It's going, actually, you can. We'll get you there.
Like you said, the anxiety, depression, moodiness, anger, all of the emotions that come along with that kind of get spin out of control sometimes too from that.
Absolutely. And I don't know what it's like in the States, but I don't ever work with anybody unless they have actually had a professional diagnosis, because IBS symptoms can mask, obviously, other things, Crohn's disease, cancer, all sorts of things. So it's really important that I hear from them and I have a letter saying, yeah, this is the diagnosis. But in getting that diagnosis, for some people, it's been truly hell on earth, and they're often told, well, we are just doing this to eliminate that it may be cancer. Well, you know what people's minds are like. They hear the word cancer, bang, whoa, sort of thing. And that can all set off. They've often had cameras put down them and up them in all sorts of orifices that have, been done uncomfortable, scary. They've often been through a process of like 2 or 3 months of just pretty horrible. So you've got that as well as all the other sort of things that you're doing. And often people are told, well, that's just it. That's your life now. So yes, say goodbye to all this sort of stuff. That is just it. So a lot of what I'm doing is getting them to hope. I think that word hope is amazing. Hope for the future. And I say, look, we can have a really good crack at this to either reduce or get rid of. But most people say, even if I could reduce it just a little bit, I'd be happy. And it's like, well, let's do that and let's see if we can get that so it's absolutely gone.
That's a deal. That's a deal. And so I'm curious, just so people can understand a little bit, I'm very aware of a lot of it, but for those people that are listening, what is a little bit of the process or the specifics of kind of how you work with people in hypnosis with IBS?
So again, the first session very much is normalizing what has happened, because you'll hear people say things like, oh, my guts are just out to get me, or there's something really, really wrong with my digestive system or with my body. And it's normalizing, saying, no, actually your digestive system is reacting how it should. You had an experience, usually a horrible one. And I talk to them about, don't get too scientific. I mean, I just use what I would call schoolgirl science. And I would just talk to them about the mind gut, the vagus nerve that goes into the gut. We talk about a gut connection, a gut reaction, all this sort of business, and just explaining that adrenaline and cortisol in the digestive system there, go back to dinosaur days, should be going then into the legs for us to run away from. If we're sitting on a train, in the car, all this sort of stuff, it's churning round and round the system, and it causes, some people, it just causes digestion to cease, and that's constipation. Other people, it's like, let's just get rid of everything because we do not want to waste energy digesting food. We should be running away from that threat, whatever that is, quickly. And also, if you don't have anything in your bowel, you're lighter, so you can run away even faster. And then every time we feel stressed or anxious, our mind pattern matches, because, well, this is what I do. This is what I say. If it was you, I'd be going, well, Laura, this is what I do, Laura. I did it for you when you were 12, so that's what I'm going to do again. Now you're 15. Oh, you're stressed again. Now you're 23. You're anxious this again, that's what I'm going to do again. And it just continues. And as I said to you, just normalizing what is going on, it has a huge impact because they really believe that their body's attacking them. You even hear phrases like that, my body's attacking me. No, it's just doing what it was designed to do and listening out for the language around that. And so a lot of the first sort of, it's about clearing when it all started, sorting out the anxiety and things. And I'll be teaching them all sorts of, we know the mind and people work in metaphors all the time, but they work almost in what their own metaphors. So one young lad, I don't know, he was 12. I didn't even know, if I'm really honest with you, that kids could have IBS, but he did. And I remember just saying to him, what does it feel like? He went, my tummy's always boiling. He said, it's always churning. And as he was doing it, his hand was showing me it was all boiling and churny. And I just said to him, what would you prefer then? And he said, well, just down the road from me, there's a mill pond. And he said, it's all smooth and it's all glassy and it's like this. And as he was talking to me, his hand was moving over a really smooth surface. And so some of the time I thought, well, I can use that. I can use what he said there. So in some of the things that I was doing, I was feeding that back into the session. Just imagine or get a sense of that stomach of yours, smooth. And I even got him to use his hand to do that. Go away and practice that in between sessions and things like that.
That's amazing. So you're undoing the connection that's there with the anxiety in the mind and the subconscious, kind of disconnecting those cords, unplugging them, and then plugging in a new way of going forward and the association of, look, everything's okay.
I laughed and said to somebody, because I run my own training course for this, but anybody going into this area of work, it's not for the faint-hearted, because sometimes people will tell you in very, very intimate, gory detail everything that's going on, and they will use language that maybe some of you might prefer not to use, but it's their digestive system is my view. And if that's how they describe it, listen to them and use it to get them to imagine it differently.
And so then once you do that and you kind of, it's like reattaching, plugging into something different and then moving forward and being able to do that from then on. So it's no longer the way it was. It's like entering new programming into the computer, updating, regenerating, moving forward with this new way of being in the world. And you did do so much of it that you did create your own course for other people to come on and be able to learn how to work directly with IBS, right? Other hypnotists.
Two people who have really inspired me through my journey, and I'm not keen on the word journey, but I never know another way to describe it. A good venture. I'm going to borrow that one. Have been Anthony and Freddie Jacquin, and it was a chance conversation with Anthony 2 years ago, maybe, I don't know. And he said, you really need to design a course. And I said, well, do you know what? The teaching side of the course design, no problem. The teaching side of it, I said, but I'm not so good on tech and all this sort of business. And he said, that's where I come in then. So we collaborated together, and yeah, it was a perfect partnership because he did all the tech and the onboarding and everything, and I just had to show up and teach. That for me, it was brilliant. Yeah, and so we're now training. We've trained quite a few people to do that, and we run our own private Facebook group so people can ask questions and things like that. But I think they said the scientific evidence, especially in the UK, but I guess it's globally, the scientific evidence for hypnosis, hypnotherapy for IBS is huge. It really, really is. And I'm lucky enough that I've got a couple of consultants in local hospitals that refer people to me. And so that keeps me very busy.
Hey, that's a good thing. Good on you. That's wonderful. So you might end up repeating yourself with this question, but that's okay. What is the difference that's made the difference in the work that you do as opposed to maybe different ways of working with it? Or do you think there's a difference? Do you think you've tapped into a little something that kind of shifts it to really making the difference for people?
I think getting clients to use their own metaphors is very, very powerful. It really is. And most people, they know how to describe, even if you have to give them a little bit of coaching along that, how to describe what they're feeling and what's going on. And then they also know how they would prefer to feel. But it's very much also about just, probably the Jacquins use an awful lot of their stuff, but also obviously other stuff that I've gleaned from other trainings along the way. And I think so in the UK, there was a doctor, consultant, I can't remember, who did a particular program, and he was talking about, I think it was 12 to 15 sessions to reduce tests and things like that. And I can honestly say to you, I do not know if it'd be a great money spinner, wouldn't it, to say to somebody, yeah, you need 12, 15. So I do not know what I would be doing. Occasionally, so after going through the program, somebody might say, can I just have one in about 3 months' time? And I will do that on a session by session. Of course I will, just to give them that confidence. 9 times out of 10, they'll sit there and go, yeah, you're right. I didn't really need this, but I thought I like it so much. There's always something extra to learn or to work on or things like that. But it doesn't have to be this long drawn out. It's clearing up a lot of the emotions, the experiences, using the metaphors and a whole bunch of future pacing of a good, fun, brilliant life, whatever they want to experience.
Right? Don't we all want that? We all want that. We all future pace on a regular basis. So meaning imagine what your life's going to be like in the way that you want it. That's all future pace means. Well, thank you so much. You have some fun and interesting things. So you have your course that helps people. Do you run that pretty regularly?
It's just an online course, so anybody can get in contact with me. I can send you the details and you can go at your own pace. It's all recorded, and Anthony and I designed it in a way that's not time specific. It's like you have to turn up at 6 p.m. on a Wednesday night or anything. It's like, no, you've got it. You can listen to 20 minutes or you can listen to the whole, I think it's 4 hours, could be 4.5, can't remember, the whole way through in one hit. It's entirely up to you. It comes with a workbook and all sorts of things in there.
And then a very exciting thing just kind of came out this last week as well as we're recording this. You are an co-author in a book with the Jacquelines, as you spoke about with Friday. Can you share the name of the book?
Yes, the book is called The Exquisite Art of Hypnosis and Hypnotherapy, and then Beyond Techniques and Protocols. And it's Freddie Jacqueline and a whole bunch of other co-authors, co-contributors. And yeah, I've got a chapter in there about IBS. And you said a very exciting thing. You should have seen me last Saturday, Laura. I honestly was like a 5-year-old. I was so excited to see my name in print. It was just so exciting that I was just like a little girl dancing around going, oh my goodness. 6 years ago, I'd never heard of the word hypnotherapy, and look, I've got a chapter in the book.
I love that. That's so exciting. And I think it's great. I would be doing the same thing. I'd be bouncing around. I'd be sharing with everyone.
Beyond exciting, as I think is the word that I would use.
I think that's amazing. And that's so wonderful. And actually the chapter in the book is on IBS.
Yes, it's the chapter in the book. I'm looking at it here. Just give me a moment. I wrote it so I should remember what it is. So Hypnosis for Irritable Bowel Syndrome. There's even a picture of the dog that I was talking about earlier.
That's great. That's so great. Oh my goodness. Congratulations on that.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
That's beautiful. So, all right. Well, that's wonderful. So besides the book, where can they either come and grab your course or come and have a consultation, a chat with you to see about working with you, learning from you, whatever it is, just saying hi to you? How can they find you?
So I've got a contact form on my website, which is www.advancedhypnotherapy.biz, B-I-Z. I'm on Instagram as Advanced Hypnotherapy. I'm on Facebook, and just give me a call depending on where you are. It might be quite expensive if you're in the States. I'm not sure, but there's WhatsApp and things like that. So 07795 832 740.
Thank you so much. Thank you for this amazing conversation.
You're welcome. I love what I do and I'm never tired talking about it. Anybody that used to know me as a teacher used to say, yeah, you did. They said you could see your passion waning over the years. And they said, but you're so passionate about what you do now. And I really am.
I think it's incredible. And you see someone that's helped and they're not in that moment of going, oh, I thought I was just going to have to deal with this the rest of my life. Or they told me coping mechanisms, or I just figured I was broken.
Yeah, absolutely. The eldest person I ever worked with was 92. And bless her heart, we did some huge work there and some huge shifts. And I always remember she said to me, my dear, she said, I wish I'd found you over 60 odd years ago. And I just looked at her and I went, bless your heart, that I wasn't even born then.
And that's just it. It doesn't matter your age. You're never too old either to have the changes come into play. Never too young, never too old. If you want change, and that's, I think, key is if you want that change, go get it. Go make the change happen because it can happen.
Yeah, it really, really can.
Thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful day. And I appreciate you being here, Helen, very much.
Oh, you're more than welcome.
All right, Change Gang, go off and have a wonderful week. And if you need some help, you know where to find it. You'll find all the information in the show notes, and I hope that you meet me right here, same time next week. Ciao. I hope today's episode was interesting to you in some way and fun. If so, hey, find someone to share it with. Maybe they need to hear it too, or maybe they'll just enjoy it. If you'd like, go ahead and grab my tips on supercharging your success. It includes a free short meditation to do just that. You can find that at bit.ly/supercharge your success. Until next time, happy day.